Syringes or bottles?
We're gonna demo both.
Okay, then you just get.
Will you go get the blue funnel? So come on in. Let's take seats.
Going every 4 hours, that's lovely. That's way better than 2.
Oh my! Look at these chunky monkeys.
Someone is going to end up on the floor. Could only fit 3 seats.
I'll sit on the floor. That's okay. There's your black and blue. Where's orange? Did orange go?
Yes.
Oh, I picked an orange for
Okay,
her.
Amber has ordered me to take tons of pictures because the girls want to come over and take care of them. I'm like, bring it. I'm going to take a nap. You guys can feed.
So, like brindle, it looks.
Oh yeah, it does look.
They look brindle, but with the white. But they said Dad was Dane.
Or a shepherd.
Or a German Shepherd.
Yeah, run away over there.
Yeah, that was my first thought. It's like German shepherd.
But the hair's still short. Yeah, the orange was like mantle. His feet. So they took it. I guess.
So the
Okay.
guy was not even open to loaning us the mom?
No.
I would pay for her. I would buy her.
Yeah.
I would rent her.
I never go to that. Somewhere to the northeast.
So one thing we can see right now with all the pups is obviously, they're nice and active, nice and mobile. They do know, hey, I'm hungry, it's feeding time. And they're like, where is our food? Where is our food?
And their eyes are open or not open?
Their eyes are not open. Eyes typically open
So they're still.
as early as
Okay.
eyes and ears typically don't open till 10 to 14 days of age. I haven't had Great Danes. I don't know if they're going to be on the earlier side of that, but
Right.
2 weeks is the general approximation for opening both
I
their
think that's
eyes and
about
the
right.
ears for most puppies.
Can I grab that one? Oh, good.
So what you are going poop
Gravity.
poopies. So don't need to stimulate that one for poop at least. Okay, so actually this is actually going to be part of the training session because we do have some poop to show you. This is fairly well-formed poop. Coloration is about what you would expect. Sometimes it's going to be a little whiter, sometimes a little darker. This is about the coloration you expect from a healthy puppy.
Think crawfish.
This is a little bit on the solid side, which is good. If it's a little too solid, you'll see them you'll have them straining to poop. You need to add a little more water and a little less of the Espalac powder into the formula. Espalac, once you mix it up, is only good for 24 hours.
Right.
So you are going to be mixing
Mix what you need.
constantly.
Right.
It's generally with the Espalac, it's generally a 2-to-1 ratio of
Yep.
Two parts water to 1 part of the powder.
Underneath, so just-
And you can see
How much did that make right there? How much was that to make it?
this is a homemade formula. This isn't the Espalac. Espalac technically is better for them than the homemade formula. It's more nutritionally balanced.
That's what I have
we-
shipped to her
we-
house.
And personally, we don't like it as much because it's a lot harder to clean, and we find the puppies love the homemade stuff better.
Uh-huh.
But the Espalac is better nutritionally.
Okay.
That's still not bad.
But it's the homemade stuff isn't bad. It's just not quite as good.
Okay.
So on a daily basis, you're going to be weighing them because weight determines how much you're allowing them to eat. The Espalac has instructions on the bottle for how much they're allowed to eat of the formula. There is an organization called Maddie's Fund, MADDIES Fund, that, and I sent the link out, that has a bottle feeding capacity chart of if the puppy is this amount of weight, this is how much they get per 4-hour feeding.
And they'll try to eat more, but you
And
can't.
they'll try to eat more. The formula is a rough approximation of the chart. Or a rough approximation is 1 milliliter per ounce of body weight every 4 hours. So as of yesterday's weigh-in, these guys theoretically should be getting at a minimum between 18 to 22. One vet, when I was helping with a birth one time, told me that it's very interesting how puppies are self-regulating in terms of how they nurse. The act, yes, I know, we're going to get you the food. The act of nursing actually tires out the puppy and acts as a self-regulation mechanism of, it prevents them from overfilling themselves. They get more energy from the food they consume than the energy they expend in nursing, but only by a little bit. Now, with puppies that are nursing on syringe or bottle, they don't expend as much energy. They're going to end up trying to gorge themselves a little bit more.
That's interesting.
So you will,
Back to the room.
you can, if they're hungry, go ahead and allow them to eat a little bit more of the formula, but don't allow them to gorge themselves. Do not go above 50% more. So at 20 ounces, 20 mils, don't go above 30. That you risk overfilling their stomach and then vomiting, and then you're not getting any nutrition. Yeah, I know. This is very good of how active they are. It shows they've been eating well.
See, and because I'm emotionally, y'all, I'm like, oh, but they're looking for mom, and it's so depressing, and
No, they do that.
he's like, no, this
They
is
do that
good.
anyway.
Mom's there or not, they do that, so.
But mom is looking for them.
So
Yeah, I feel for the mom.
I know, I'm so upset.
with reasonably sized puppies, I like these. They're called Miracle Nipples. This is the large dog size. There are some knockoffs. I do try and make sure I buy the originals. When you order them, they come with syringes, but they'll also fit in these 4-ounce Pet AG bottles that I will be giving you.
Okay.
We have the supplies on hand. You'll be taking them home, and PNAD will be buying new supplies to replace these.
They're actually being delivered early today at my house.
Okay.
But yes.
So there's 2 ways we can go about doing this. These guys are vigorous nursers. We can either go with syringe feeding or bottle feeding. So syringes like these ones are designed as single use. We will reuse them, but they do wear out. So I'm going to start off with a brand new syringe, and again, I will be giving both of you both syringes and bottles.
The syringe one has the gradients on there, so you can
Yes.
know, 20
So
ounces.
so
So you could even use that just to put it in the bottle.
You can use it to put it in the bottle. It also makes it easier to see how much they're taking at any given time. These syringes have what are called lure locks. It's L-U-E-R lock. And the Miracle Nipple is designed, it can fit over a lure lock syringe. Now, what I've also done is I've taken out the nipples that this particular bottle comes with, and I've put the Miracle Nipple in its place. You can also go with a infant bottle, and you can pull its nipple out and pull this nipple out, because these puppies are going to grow fast. Great Danes are big dogs. These guys are going to be growing like crazy. And so you can switch this so that you have a larger amount of volume.
What's the capacity of the syringe?
The ones so my care packages for you include some 3 ml syringes, so that when they get some deworming medications to you, that the 3 ml syringes are what you're most likely to use based on their body weight. Right. Deworming normally starts at 2 weeks of age. Then I'm giving you a couple of 10 mils just in case you have any need for it, in case these guys grow so fast that the 3 mils don't work. And then I'm giving you a half dozen of the 60 mil syringes. Now, with these syringes, don't pull the syringe all the way out. There's actually a lip at the edge, and every time you pull the syringe out, it degrades the rubber and makes it a little bit harder for it to be used. So when I'm washing these out, I just hold it under the water, pull water in, shake it around, push it out, rinse and repeat. So I'm going to prepare both a bottle and a syringe, and we'll weigh before we start feeding. But I'm going to go ahead and prep this bottle. Sweetie, I'm used to the other container that is...
Yeah, well, we don't have that right now.
Yeah. So I did 60 mils in the bottle.
This might be a fun with the black mask.
And we'll also prep a syringe.
The black mask, you see?
Oh, yeah.
Because some of the fawns look dark when they're born. I don't do brown.
Yeah, the coloration can change a little bit. So, full syringe, and that'll allow me to feed 2 of these puppies right now. And again, I can put this on.
Okay.
And if you look carefully against the light, as I push in, you'll actually see the milk level inside the nipple, or, just push a little until you see the formula coming out. So before we feed them, we'll do our weigh-in. One of them has managed to crawl into my pocket. On some previous video streams, we've had some crawl into my shorts before. Okay, come on out. So let's start with our weigh-ins.
He's sucking on his brother.
Yes, the puppies will perform fellatio on each other, and so that is something to watch out for.
Separate them if they...
And you need to try and separate them. They
the
can cause damage.
Right.
So yellow is going to be 21 ounces.
Okay.
And you weigh before feeding. Black
And check their collars every day.
is 23 we're gonna go 23.5 ounces on black.
He's my first pick, that kid.
It's a chunk of milk right there.
20 ounces on white.
Blue.
And last but not least, blue. 20 ounces on blue.
Everybody's getting an ounce.
Wonderful.
Puppies should gain between 5 and 10% of their body weight per day. So, today we have some of them right at 20. So they should be gaining 1 to 2 ounces between today and tomorrow. And that keeps in, because that's on their body weight. Right now they're about 1.25 pounds. By the time they're 1 week old, they're probably going to be close to 3 pounds.
I
have Tonka's record.
His history.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
compare
Yeah.
to that giant litter.
So at this point, we can do either. We pick one of them. Since 2 of them will be with 2 of you, 2 of them will be with the other 2. It's a little easier to keep track of who's who. But I'll just pick one. We'll pick black. Hold them up. They're pretty good at once you got the nipple near their mouth. Here we are. Do not hold them upside down. Do not put them on their back when feeding. You can see going quite well, and you can actually see. Look at how that syringe is just being pulled
You
in.
don't get the whole syringe,
So
right?
why don't you have
He only
compassion? Because
no
there's a
no
nipple?
more than
There's
half the syringe.
When the syringe is working right, the plunger will move itself.
Well, so the plunger will go down as part of them nursing, but that's also a matter of how their mouth shapes around the nipple. So, 2 of them don't form quite a complete seal, and so you tend to get air pockets. So you can see the air pocket in the syringe. And so periodically, just go ahead, flip the syringe up, and get all the air right out of it. And so there we are. We've got that. And so far he's gotten 28 of the 30 that I'm willing to allow this little one. And there we go. He or she? He is considered topped off. And now
It seems like he's still.
and you can actually see his belly is quite a bit more full now. And time to go ahead and use very, very soft tissue, microfiber towel, cotton balls, and so I'm stimulating his wee-wee, and that'll get him to pee or poo. So you want to stimulate. Mama does it with her tongue. Obviously, I do not want to do that. And also stimulate under his tail.
He won't poop every time.
He won't poop every time.
Did y'all cut their cords, or
No,
did
they
they?
just come
They just came
They
off?
dry and come off.
That is next level cold, taking puppies with umbilical cords out into the bed.
They were this long the other day. They
Oh, yeah.
still had their.
Bad people.
You gonna poop for
I
us?
like him.
You gonna poop for us?
Probably not.
We got a pretty good
Got a little bit of poop.
Exactly. So,
Or does he need to?
And they are pooping a little bit on their own.
Yeah.
Food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you'll see little nuggets
Yeah.
in the pen.
So that's the first puppy. Once they've been fed and had their full, they go off and go to sleep. At this part of their life cycle, it's eat, sleep, eat, sleep. So with the
Pooping in that, I'm sure.
Yep. So next puppy, we'll go ahead and do the bottle. I mean, generally same thing. Do want to make sure that the bottle is pointed downwards because you want to minimize the amount of air that they can suck in. Now with the bottle, it's a bit harder to see how much they're getting. Now as they get a little bit bigger, it'll be easier for us.
Because they'll drink the whole bottle.
Because you'll get to the point where it's like a half bottle is what they need. Right now, they need about a quarter bottle each, which is a little bit awkward in terms of filling. But again, bottle is upwards. You can choose to support the belly, or you can support the paws. And they have fun. Sometimes you will need to burp the puppy afterwards. That partially depends on their shape of their mouth, partially depends on the nipple you're using. we generally, with these nipples, don't tend to find a lot of air ingestion and a lot of need for burping.
When you first get the new nipples,
What?
when you first get the new nipples, do they not have a hole in them? That's
So
what it said on the video that they did.
So miracle nipples are already pre-holed.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, so we're at about 30 left. So we're pretty good. Now the other thing is like this bottle right now has 30 mils left. If I want another one of these other two puppies to be able to get a full 30, I would have to have it perfectly vertical above them. So something to keep in mind as you move from puppy to puppy. And as my wife said, you need to check especially with these Great Danes, they're going to grow like weeds, that you want to make sure every day you're checking their collars. Because you'll each get 2 of them and not have 8 to try and differentiate, you can probably go ahead and not even deal with the collars because they'll probably be visually distinctive.
Right.
So you can see she peed quite a bit, nice and soaked.
Yeah, some of them really do. The other day I was like, so they were smart enough to put a towel over their lap.
Yeah, so generally when my wife is feeding, she'll put a towel over her lap. So, yeah, I know. Your turn. Your turn, little girl.
Almost like a heart
Girl,
on the back
yeah.
of the
Okay,
head.
this
Your
kid
turn,
ate
girl.
already, yeah? Or no?
What?
No.
No, that one hasn't eaten yet. They'll expend a bunch of when they wake up and they're hungry. They'll expend a bunch of energy searching for mama, but that'll tire them out. So, when I go back to that one, you'll see once I wake it up, it'll go for the bottle like crazy.
How long have y'all been doing newborns?
2014.
Really?
2014 was our first set of newborns, but we lost them all.
They've had a lot of loss too. It's been
Yeah.
horrible.
2014 was our first
They seem very vulnerable.
mama and pups.
Was my fear.
No,
But
I
these
don't.
puppies are strong.
So, and again, once you get the nipple near them, usually they're like, oh yeah. Sometimes, especially if they've had more time suckling on mama, where you had a mama that couldn't,
Right, these guys don't have that experience.
that stopped being able to nurse them.
Yeah.
What sometimes you have to, they tend to react to the flesh better than the rubber, and so you can use your finger to get them to open their mouth, and you trick them and get the nipple in instead.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we can see that if I rotate this, I can see that the plunger is getting pulled in. This is one of the ones that tends to get a good suction.
Are you starting to know them now, huh?
Two of them tend to get a bit more air into the syringe. 2 of them tend to have a better suction. Now, as you use the bottle, if their front paws are available, you'll see them do like a swimming motion. And
Because they're trying to do that.
they're trying to knead mama's. It's an instinct to knead mama's mammary gland to help it produce milk more easily.
There's a heart back here.
Yeah, there's the
Looks like a little heart.
little white spot. So yeah, I mean these guys are all visually distinctive.
You can't say beep.
What the heck are they from? Hiccups coming?
And some hiccups are common, yeah.
They're singing.
And some of them are going to nurse faster than others. This one has a little bit more relaxed of, yeah, I'm just going to keep going, you keep going, but is a little bit slower versus the other 2 that we've seen. And I'm going to go ahead and pull the nipple out, and he's like, no, but I want to get some of that ear out. There's a lot of bubbly formula until we get that. There we go. And you can see wanting to be right back on the nipple. The nice thing is these are very healthy puppies. inability to nurse or a lack of desire to nurse is a leading indicator that something might be going wrong.
Right.
But you won't have that with these puppies.
You should not have that with these puppies.
This is the excellent way to start learning how to.
Yeah, we've got these appear to be some nice healthy puppies for you.
This is how Lindsay tricked us into thinking bottle feeding was easy and fun. It used to be easy and fun. Today it is again, but
What's your largest litter that you've had?
12.
It's a lot.
So
They died though.
we've lost 2 different litters of 12.
Oh my.
What took them?
Distemper.
Oh.
Distemper is a horrible freaking disease.
Yep.
Only seen one. Prima and I had a brindle, maybe 5 weeks or 6 weeks with distemper. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. He was just.
You want to potty this one?
Is it does like brain inflammation or
It's
what?
neurological.
It goes near at the end. It goes neurological and seizures, tics, pain, sort of like shingles. And it's based on the side you've had shingles.
No.
No, okay. It sucks. I had early onset shingles. Oh my god.
Did you really?
Yeah.
At Disney World.
Yeah, Disney World, no
We
less.
just got our vaccine for shingles.
I just turned 50, so they're
it's
like,
time to get the shingles.
you need your shot.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
that's us.
doctors never said anything about it.
Yeah.
I meant to ask doctor.
And she was also like, and you're going to be so sick from it. It sucks. I was like,
We were told that too. Neither one of us.
We didn't
I
get
mean,
too
it-
sick.
It was quite a thing, but I didn't
You
get
guys
sick at all.
are teeny.
So again, this one had worn themselves out, but you know, just picking them up and
Really?
so
waking them up, and it's like, yes, food.
see, I would guess that would be another fawn. I'm just looking at the black mask. But the puppies I have seen when they're that young, the fawns look dark, really dark.
I didn't think we know anything about the dad. There's no.
Well, someone
right.
said he was a Dane.
Who said?
Yeah, but
the
what's-
same
where's the
person.
source?
The
Yeah,
same person
exactly.
that just said here, kill these
I don't
puppies.
know. Yeah. But they're short. They're short haired
Sorry, we're on video.
for now, right?
Dreaming already. Here's the picture.
And so this is one of the ones that tends to open and close their mouth a lot while suckling. So you can see that a lot of air getting into the syringe.
And what about again, temperature-wise? How warm are you over there with that?
So-
90 degrees or
I guess I could get a thermometer, but I don't know.
okay.
The big thing with whether you're using a heat lamp or a heating pad, the most important thing is that it only cover no more than about a quarter of their area. They need to be able to get away from the heat source if they're getting too hot.
Right.
Puppies at this
The
age,
pad is pretty. You're on it, you're not. So that's good.
Yeah.
So.
puppies at this age, okay, and with the homemade more so than the
The Espalac can be
With
with the
comfy, though.
Espalac.
You
Well,
gotta-
yeah, the Espalac can be comfy. Occasionally, you'll see them starting to really strain,
Oh yeah.
and you can
clump in
actually
there.
see there's a little bit of clump in here that's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
blocking the nozzle.
Yep,
Could be a pit bull dad too, I guess.
No more in a few weeks.
And so you just have to get
I've
that
never seen
clump
this young
through.
about the ears. If you can tell by the ears seem small. But that might be normal at this age. I don't know.
They look like Dane newborns.
Okay, good.
Pit bulls do too.
Okay, yeah, they
You
all
know?
kind of look the same
Yeah.
at that age, right? They all look like little babies.
Size-wise,
Here we
they're
are.
big. These are fighting dogs, and she ate one of them, so we had to sneak them all in the hotel and do this.
Yep.
I don't remember any of it. I just remember going, I'm holding a 1 hour old.
Wait until you start holding the 30-second-olds.
Slide me a little second.
Yep.
I delivered, Prima and I had a litter that I delivered Jersey.
It's worse when you do C-sections and you gotta do all that.
No.
And get the mucus out of them and all that good stuff.
Well, just picture Prima and I delivering puppies, first of all. Just that in and
Not
of
with a
itself.
Yeah, right, yeah, fly on the wall, hear that. No, you gotta do
Just
this,
go
no,
get
you
the
do
scissor.
this.
Well, and her girlfriend Angela was there, and Angela's very calm. Remember Angela?
Time for pee and poop in that one.
What are your thoughts about, since they didn't get anything from the mother, their
Colostrum?
vulnerability to
They're, well,
like
we
were
don't
talking
know.
about that.
I think they got some from the mother.
Okay.
But they're gonna be more vulnerable. If
Gotcha, pets
if
and
you
days,
have
right?
if you have dogs of your own,
Yeah.
then please do not bring them to public dog parks for at least 6 weeks.
We don't take ours ever to public dog parks
They don't?
anymore. No, because
They don't
they're
like it.
they don't like it.
They hover near you and
This is a boy.
They like to
I just
chase.
saw a wiener. Sorry. Okay.
They like to chase the other dogs because that's their instinct. The
Oh, to
wolfhounds.
run.
Yes, the wolfhounds like to chase.
So I'm gonna switch angle a little bit so we see us holding puppies rather than just my legs.
So this is the Hanukkah litter. I was thinking Mazel, Latke,
I actually already
Latka.
we threw. So I have a record of our fosters on the web, and so Amy and I already assigned a bunch of names.
I want to
We,
hear.
we know they're not going to stay
Give
around.
themes.
Well, we did this the Hanukkah litter per your suggestion. So one of
I'm in charge.
the puppies is Gelt. And
Sufganya.
so Sufganya, though I think weren't we changing Sufganya to Hanukkah Harry just for the.
We're naming somebody Hanukkah Harry.
That's.
I forgot about Hanukkah
I
Harry.
remember. Do you remember Saturday Night Live? Is
Yeah.
that yes? What was his name? What's
So-
the comedian?
It's
that
Billy
played-
Crystal.
No,
No.
the other guy. It's not. So Santa was sick, and Hanukkah Harry had to step up
Oh.
and take over, and Hanukkah Harry got all the kids, Hanukkah gifts, which suck. They're like socks and toilet paper, and all the kids are like, "Where's our Game Boy?" And I got you some nice socks
today.
So let's talk about
So
the next couple of
Body
weeks.
temperature wise, they just so normal, like right now, being in this room, and holding them like this. We're not chilling them. We're not.
No.
Okay, this is not harmful.
No.
Okay.
Our house is kept around 77, 78 degrees.
Yeah.
You do notice that they did tend to stay and go back under the heating pad.
Yeah.
They'll go to the heat if they're warm. They'll go away from it if they're too hot.
Right.
Or they'll go to the heat
Right.
for warmth. Go away from it if they're overheated.
But like a 75-degree room with a heating pad option.
We'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you'll see they tend to clump together. In warm rooms, they'll tend to spread apart more. That's one of their mechanisms, is when they clump together, when they form their puppy piles, it's for warmth, and then if they're too warm, they'll spread out. Now, since you'll each have two,
There's
not
no
quite
clumping.
not as quite as much. They'll probably spend most of their time together.
Right.
Feeding is every 4 hours as long as they're healthy.
Yep.
And
And then after a month, you start to move towards.
So let's talk a bit about timelines. Around 2 weeks, their eyes start opening, their ears open, and around that time, they're going to start managing to stay on their feet a little bit more rather than just crawling around. When their eyes first open, they're going to be very cloudy. The eyes have matured enough to the point where the eyes can open, but at that point, they're still not really seeing anything other than light and dark. And you'll see the eyes get less and less cloudy, and colors
Okay, glad you said that.
colors
So
start
cloudy
forming.
eyes. You don't panic and go, "Oh my god,
No.
this one's got an eye issue."
They've
No.
been smoking
Good.
out.
Thank you for saying that. 'Cause I would have looked
Yeah,
and said,
and typically you'll watch them and you'll see, like, on one day maybe the eye is just a teeny little bit open, and then the next day it's a little bit more open, next day a little bit more open, and other times you'll look at them and one day the eye was closed and the next day the eye is open. And it varies from puppy to puppy. So at roughly 2 weeks, they're going to start being able to have their eyes open and their ears open. Around 3 weeks, they're going to be walking more. They're going to be starting to recognize surroundings a little bit more. Between 3 and 4 weeks, once they're able to stand, is when you can start trying to put the formula in a food bowl.
And even
And-
before then,
Yeah.
you don't have to do the 4 a.m. feeding forever, because I mean, it was around 2.5 weeks or so where Lindsay said feed them real good during the day, and
Yeah,
then they'll hold overnight.
At about 2.5 weeks, you can get away with like a 10 p.m. feed and a 6 a.m. feed, and go to 5 feeds at 4 hours, and skip that one overnight.
Yep.
The
key is for them to get the target daily volume still, though, right?
Well, at that point, you're starting to come off the chart, but yes.
Okay.
When we start feeding wet in the bowl, we start feeding in our bathtub. Put a mat down, put the bowl in, put the puppies in,
because it's going to be a mess.
And it's gonna be a mess. Because they're gonna be, they're still unsteady on their feet. They're going to be walking through it. They're going to be wearing it. Mm-hmm. Having it in the bathtub makes it very easy to clean up.
Yep.
Then once they're comfortable with that, you can start mixing in soft canned food. Canned puppy food, and
what was in it now? Just formula in a bowl.
Yeah. So start with formula in a bowl.
Yep.
Then you can start adding in some soft. You can puree it, or you can just go ahead and put some soft in a bowl with some formula. Stir it around, mash it up a little bit. They'll drink the formula a little bit, and they'll start trying to eat the wet food. Then from there, as they're eating more and more of the canned food, you do less and less formula and start having a bowl of water available for them.
Is this bad? Is it bad to do that?
You can.
It's disgusting. I'm not that dirty. But
Do you want to?
I don't mean it's gross to me. I just don't want to.
No, we can top him off a little bit.
He's a bigger one.
You need
Okay,
to
so I don't push.
Nope.
We'll just suckle it.
Really?
There you go.
So kind of at an angle like this?
Yeah. Don't let him have. I put more. I put more in there than I should have. So don't let him have all of that.
Okay.
So.
Oh my god. No.
It's one of the horses.
Alex is a 1,700-pound horse.
I have a thing for Alex. So is that?
Yeah, that's
Probably good,
plenty.
Are you gonna poopies now? Do they go right after they eat?
We generally simulate right after eating because they're feeling more full at that point.
Yeah, it'll help relieve them a little.
So then you can put mixed formula in with kibble to have a softened food for them to eat, and then finally
You allow
kibble
the
by
kibble
itself.
to fully soften, though.
Yeah.
There's no chewing going on. Where,
Yeah.
For
The
a
thing
while,
is we've had puppies that went straight from formula straight to kibble. We've had ones that needed every intermediate step.
Okay.
It's going to be different on every puppy.
Okay. Now, Cordy, remind me, there's an issue with the Great Danes as far as protein. You do not want a high protein diet.
They'll
right?
never have puppy food, I don't think.
Right.
But
there's like protein ratios. I don't remember what the
under
numbers are.
26,
Okay.
25%.
Yeah, because I
But,
remember too much protein is bad for the Great Danes.
Absolutely. So that's why we give them adult. They never eat.
Right.
They never eat puppy.
Okay.
But I have been in touch with 2 of my show breeder people when I told them about this, and they recommended the
Escalade formula.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's for the formula. I'm just thinking that,
but
a month from now.
But we can defer to them for anything too. But yeah, you're right. They can't.
But
they
the
can't have,
thing is,
Don't give them high protein
there's
puppy food. I remember that.
There's gonna be a difference though of what we're talking about when they're 4 to 8 weeks of age versus as they're growing more.
True.
Because at the younger age, you need to make sure the calcium that's in puppy food, the higher calcium that's in puppy food, is available to them.
Okay.
So.
That's all weeks from now. We can deal with that later.
That's weeks from now. What we will do is, as they get old enough to start playing with toys, I go to Home Depot, get a bunch of the small carabiners for 99 cents or $1.49 or whatever they are these days, and I hang the toys. Or I also buy plastic chain and hang
That's awesome.
put a chain across and hang the toys. Having the toys hanging means they're getting less covered in poop for you,
Could I
especially
need you to fire your gun on occasion so they
es-
get used to it and they can turn into a tall cup?
especially so.
Yep, that makes
I mean,
sense. And
especially
they need
with
the
not having
stimulation.
mama to clean them,
Right, and they'll need the stimulation of that activity.
and they want you. Yeah, you want the stimulation.
I'd have your TV on too, so they can.
So you will want
Or radio
to
or something.
You will want to clip their nails every 1 to 2 weeks. Puppies are going to have very sharp nails. You may already be feeling that a little bit.
Use like your regular human nail.
So use human nail clippers at this age. And fortunately, most of these guys have the white paws, and
Yes,
so
you
you can see the quicks very easily.
Yep.
Now their nails are sort of their nails come out and have a down hang, which is the sharp part, and it's pretty easy at this age to just clip off that little down hang.
Yep.
But we'll do that every 1 to 2 weeks.
Yep.
Wolfhounds'
nails grow straight like bear claws.
Really?
Yes, and they're black, and clipping them is a nightmare.
Really?
Yes.
That's why I Dremel all mine.
Yeah.
Don't ever
Yeah.
worry about it.
Will they let you Dremel?
No.
No.
So you do want to handle them. I mean, obviously you're bottle feeding them, so you're handling them every day. Spend time touching their paws. Spend time touching the top of their head, their chin, their nose, their nose, their ears. You want them getting used to being handled, especially at this age. Getting them used to getting the nail trims and everything is going to set them up better for life later on. Hold them, cuddle them, which we're all.
I don't think that's
right
going to be a
now.
problem.
Are you going into
any
the coma?
like I'm just reaching here, but like, okay, neighbors' kids want to come over and see the puppies. Do I have to worry about kids bringing a disease in or something, or
to a certain extent, yes. Again, these puppies didn't get a lot of mama's colostrum. I think they got at least some. They are going to be a little bit more vulnerable. The concern is they're bringing in diseases from other dogs. And so if the kids have dogs and they go to dog parks, or if you have doubts about them having been their dogs having been vaccinated, then don't have them come in.
Okay.
When they do come in, have them go and immediately wash their hands where you can see them, and use hand sanitizer.
Okay, yeah, that's easy. And the people I'm thinking of, they're all great dog people. I know all their dogs are wonderful, but still, a good washing wouldn't hurt anyway.
if they're going to dog parks and they're scooping down to pick up their own dog's poop, there's the possibility of them. There's 3 primary diseases we worry about with puppies that are going to kill the puppies. One of them, there's nothing you can do about it. It's, did mama have what's called CHV, canine herpes virus? If mama had it at birth, we're going to lose all the puppies between 2 and 3 weeks of age. CHV is effectively 100% fatal between weeks 2 and 3, and it was if mama had an outbreak at birth. There is nothing.
I will be destroyed.
Is
if
that why
happens.
one of the breeders I know posted we're past one of the critical phases? I guess that's what it probably
Yes. CHV at least is not very transmissible. You're not worrying about someone having just their dog had CHV and they're coming in. I don't know how transmissible it is, but the key in terms of mortality, if an adult gets it, you barely notice it. If a female dog had an active case when she was delivering, the puppies are effectively doomed. Unfortunately. The other 2 diseases we worry about are parvovirus and distemper. Parvovirus in a puppy below 4 weeks of age is fatal. The reason being is parvovirus attacks rapidly dividing cells. In older puppies and adults, that's the gastrointestinal tract. Below 4 weeks of age,
it's everything.
It's the heart.
Oh, okay.
Specifically.
Okay.
We lost 2 puppies to that earlier this year, where they were diagnosed with parvo at 2 weeks of age, and the ER vet was like, just euthanize them.
Save them the grief.
Because even if they survive it now, they're going to be in heart failure by 1 year of age. Parvovirus is a resilient virus outside of the host body. It can last for over a year and still be viable to infect dogs. Parvovirus is primarily spread via fecal material. So if you've got an infected dog, it's going to the dog park or where have you, then you're stepping in it, you're tracking it around everywhere. Most household cleaners do not kill parvovirus. The only one that does and doesn't do it very well is bleach. And the problem with bleach is bleach gets inactivated by organic material. Well, how did we just say parvo spreads?
Right.
So at that point, you're looking at veterinary grade cleaners to get rid of it. With parvovirus, when they're older, it can be an 80 to 9. It's 95% mortality rate untreated, but with treatment on parvo, you can get 80 to 95% survival rates, at least as long as they're over 4 weeks of age.
And then when's the first vaccine for that?
So first vaccine under normal American Animal Hospital Association and World Small Animal Veterinary Association guidelines can be as early as 6 weeks of age. Under certain conditions, you can start at 4 weeks of age. I've had some puppies do a 4-week start. I've had some puppies do a 6-week start. Some do a little bit later. The guidelines officially state that you start as early as 6 weeks and continue at 2 to 4 week intervals until no less than 16 weeks of age. This variance causes a lot of confusion for people. Some people are like, you need 3 shots, you need 4 shots. The guideline is you start as early as 6 weeks and continue until no less than 16. This can mean 8, 12, 16 is valid. It can mean 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 is valid. Puppies we've already talked about, puppies get colostrum from mama in the first 24 to 36 hours of birth, after birth. This gives them what are called MDAs, maternally derived antibodies. MDAs interfere with vaccinations. For most puppies, MDAs wear off between 6 to 10 weeks of age. Some of them it lasts until 15 weeks. Some of them get no, even with a perfectly healthy mama, some of them get no protection at day 1. One study I saw suggested as many as 17% of puppies get no protection. We don't know how much this mama nursed. We are going to assume that they didn't get a lot of protection. But again, mama could have had super great bodies and delivered it to these puppies. And so the reason we give puppies so many vaccinations is we don't know which one will actually be effective. In rescue situations, and with vets that are more familiar with rescue or that are in higher risk areas, you're more likely to see either a 2 or 3 week vaccination interval. With private vets that haven't had shelter experience or in lower risk areas, they're more likely to do the 3 or 4 week interval. The interval is going to be up to the rescue. Generally, I personally prefer 2 or 3 week intervals. The odds of vaccine reactions, they happen. They're pretty darn rare. You're minimizing the exposure risk because
I'm sorry to interrupt. She'll do 6, 9, and 12. I'm almost positive.
Okay.
I'm almost positive. I thought she did a 4th though. There's a 4th.
It should be
So,
a 15.
I think she does.
There is a protocol for 4. A lot of vets don't know about it, of starting at 4 weeks. But 6, 9, 12, 16 is also perfectly valid for 4 total shots.
Does 6.
Austin Pets Alive, because they have the Parvo ward, they do 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20 because there's also in the guidelines there's also recommendations of doing additional at 18 to 20 weeks in very high risk situations. That's going to be up to the rescue to determine. That's the distemper parvo. You'll hear it called a DAPP. You'll hear it called DHPP. It stands for, the DAPP is distemper adenovirus parvovirus parainfluenza. DHPP is distemper hepatitis parvovirus parainfluenza. For intensive purposes in dogs, hepatitis and adenovirus are effectively the same disease.
And lepto is optional now?
Leptospirosis is given as a 2-week, or is given as a 2-shot series starting at either 8 or 10 weeks, and an additional 2 to 4 weeks later. Leptospirosis is what's called a non-core vaccination. It meaning it's not pervasive enough around the world to say you always vaccinate for this. In the Austin area, there's some vets that consider it core and always recommend it. There's some vets that say it's lifestyle. There's certain in at least some areas of California, leptospirosis is legally considered core. Rabies is given, according to Texas law, is to be given between 12 and 16 weeks of age.
Unless you're Tonka. He didn't get his till 1 year. Vets aren't happy about that.
Yeah. Deworming starts at 2 weeks of age, generally. We'll have one dewormer at 2 weeks of age, and again, this is going to vary a little bit by protocol according to...
What would be the source of worms for these guys, Mom?
Mom
Okay.
would have been the primary source. Both there's some worms that will transmit via blood. There's other worms
Through poop.
poop. Also, there's some worms that transmit via nursing, milk. There's some that'll actually come out in the milk, and there's others. If Mama's going in and outside of the yard, you have to worry about them getting on her boobs when she's nursing. And so there's a lot of sources for worms. Some roundworms, you deworm them, you're going to see it looks like spaghetti coming out of their butt. Roundworms are annoying, but not very deadly. Hookworms will kill puppies.
That's what Valor had, hookworms. Remember that?
They are nasty.
The one that was run over by a car, little 16-week-old.
I do remember Valor.
Yeah, he was a mess.
Harlequin, yeah?
Well,
Yes, yep.
he survived. He was fine. He had a lovely wife.
Generally, there's a relatively weak dewormer. We start at 2 weeks of age. It's very safe against overdoses. There was an instructor at APA is like the only way you can overdose a dog on this is by drowning them in it. And then it's 6 weeks we start using slightly stronger dewormers. Sometimes if we're having problems with worms, we'll have to go to stronger dewormers earlier, or we might even have to start the one we start normally at 2 weeks
Do you have any sense
earlier.
these guys are probably on the low risk category for worms? You know,
We don't know how often Mama was dewormed,
True.
and we don't know what sort of treatment she had on a regular basis.
Cool mantle for dog.
So watching their poop is going to be a very good leading indicator of problems for you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Ow, hurts this.
Would you like to sit in the chair? I can stand for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Why don't we, Amy, will you angle the camera back towards me now?
That
Please.
part makes me sad. Like, where's she? Where's my mom?
No, this is normal. They're actually
That's what puppies do. They do that when mom's there. Yes.
Right now they're looking for each other to sleep.
Yep. Cuddle buns and
They're looking
step on each
for.
other's heads.
I want to find the perfect place for temperature. Where are my
We've
siblings?
outgrown our collar already. Twice he's busted out. Y'all got your shit down. I'm very impressed with you guys. You seem very knowledgeable.
We do this 6,
That's all you
7
do.
times per year.
You still smile and sleep on occasion. Y'all aren't sleeping
Wait,
for
sleep?
a while.
What's sleep? What's that? I don't know what sleep is anymore.
It's overrated.
Mike sleeps with the wolfhounds. He doesn't get any sleep either.
464, 465.
See, now he's just saying stuff. What's he doing?
10 and a half years, 473
Oh.
foster dogs. Now that
God.
is 8.
Oh my
So many puppies.
Yeah, because when you do Mama plus
Yeah,
5,
yeah.
Mama plus 6, Mama plus 8, Mama plus 12, and you do that 4, 5, 6, 7 times per year, you run insane
I like
numbers.
this one, Mom.
I know, I really like him. I don't even know
So
why.
we talked about canine herpes virus. We talked about parvovirus. The other one we have to worry about is distemper. Distemper spreads via airborne drops. Distemper has a greater than 80% mortality rate in puppies, and depending upon the source you read, 50 to 70% in adults. That
Golly.
It's like
we just
adult dogs.
we
Okay.
just
I was like, wait a minute.
we just lost. We had to euthanize 9 puppies 3 weeks ago to distemper. Distemper is a horrid disease because it does attack the nervous system. You get seizures, you get pain, you get tics. The big thing is, where is it coming from? So as long as your dogs are vaccinated,
Right.
unless you have people bringing in other dogs,
Yeah.
you should be generally pretty good.
Questions?
What have we not talked about? We've talked about deworming. We've talked about
I would think for me it'd be like, okay, troubleshooting, and then, like I said, the
Okay.
video source.
What?
They got tons of resources on
Yeah.
that wheel, but I was
Wa-
thinking,
wa-
okay,
wa-
vomiting.
wa-
Like,
okay.
You're overfeeding them. Maybe
vomiting most likely cause is going to be overfeeding. But if you're not overfeeding, then the problem is likely to be parvovirus or distemper. If you're seeing consistent vomiting, puppies dehydrate easily, so if you have if there's vomiting and you have another missed feeding, you're already worrying about dehydration. They can dehydrate that quickly.
Okay.
Other troubleshooting, watch the weight. They should be gaining every day. If they're not gaining every day, that's a leading indication if something's wrong. Likewise, if they're losing appetite, anorexia is a leading indication something is going wrong.
I drop them in the pocket.
What else? I have made care kits for you.
So nice.
I'm going to be giving you I'm going to be giving you bottles. I'm going to give you. I think I had enough to give you 9
Fall
each.
into that chair or did I leave you in the car? That would be me.
9 each of the 60 ml syringes, because again they do wear out. I'm giving you the 10 ml syringes, 3 ml syringes. Behind you, I have enough to give both of you 23 cans of puppy food each. And that is thanks to the people that are in this chat, watching the live stream right now. I put
Thank you.
up Amazon wish lists, and
That's awesome.
and they send me lots of items.
Great.
So make sure to thank everybody. Now, what
Thank you.
I haven't been watching. I haven't been keeping on top of the chat as much as I normally do, but I did see some of them already saying, "Send pictures."
Right.
They would prefer that you live stream, but if you don't want to live stream, at least send us pictures. You have our contact information, and I'll post them online so that our followers who have also helped donate a bunch of this food and supplies that you'll be taking advantage of, they get the updates at least.
I don't have your contact information except for your cell phone, so
Right, which is good enough for you to send a picture to me, right?
Yeah, would you prefer to get them by email or something instead?
No,
That
that's
is
fine.
strong. That was strong. It was a big
Yeah.
sucker.
Wow, my finger's down his throat too.
Yeah.
I have a nail in that finger.
You have it.
I was gonna say you have nails on most of your fingers, no?
So, in transitioning from the homemade formula to the Espalac, you may see some gastrointestinal distress. It may be purplish, because sometimes they'll slough a little bit of the lining of their
Glad
intestine.
you said that. I would have fainted. Well, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And that might cause them a little bit of distress. So what I would do is I would start off by taking the formula that we have, mix up a portion of the Epsilac and do a 50-50 mix for a couple of feedings. The stuff that we make will last about a week. Epsilac only lasts about a day, so pull some out of what we give you each time. What haven't we talked about?
I think you've covered
You're
pretty
pretty stinking thorough. I've been so impressed with y'all.
If this is going to be based on the rescues policies, if you have
Make your own rules.
if you have a fenced backyard and you have been in your house for at least 2 years and have had no known cases of parvovirus in your yard for at least 2 years, generally we'll start taking the puppies out at 6 weeks of age to start introducing them to the outside. What we will start doing is we'll move the pen to our back door.
Mhm.
And at 6 weeks of age, puppies sleep, they wake up, they need to pee, then they're thirsty and hungry, then they need to poop once they've filled their belly. Then they play for about half an hour,
And then
give or
pass out.
take,
Yep.
and then they pass out again. So what we'll start doing is with the pen right near our back door, and again, this is going to be dependent upon you having a yard that is safe, is we start feeding and watering outside. So we'll wake up in the morning, I'll go outside, put down food, water, I'll open the pen and try to encourage the puppies to run to where the food and water is, which happens to be outside, because, wake up, run outside, pee,
Potty.
drink,
Right,
eat,
right.
potty.
And managing
that-
two
and that
versus 10
helps.
is different too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Managing 2 versus 10 is a bit different as well.
It's
Um,
very strong.
but some rescues will not allow that. Some rescues, as long as you've been in the house for a certain amount of time and have had no known issues in the yard, are going to accept that. That's going to be up
It will be
to
fine.
the rescue.
Take my finger off.
Anything else? And it's fun to
the
watch.
big dogs do it too.
Yeah.
They just start running and then growling and howling.
Yeah, enjoy all their baby noises. I love the baby noises.
He's gonna be the child. That's gonna be the 75% of food kind of. There, they for 50%.
He doesn't look super big. I think these
You
two
can
look
get
Feels
a little
really.
bit
stocky
more.
though, because compared to the others, he feels heavier.
He does. What?
It's only like 2 ounce difference.
But
And we will make a copy of the weight chart so that you're starting. You have everybody to start with. Do you have
By the way,
do you
I
have a
apologize
pen
for
of some
Catherine,
sort?
She had to take a work call.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Do you have a pen of
And
some
you're
sort?
rush. Yes, yeah. Actually, it's like I was checking out the sizes in the holes here, and we've got some of the same type of size holes there, but it's all sided. It's about twice the size of that one that you have here there.
Okay.
And it's got a big side door, so
Okay, because
so
I have another one of these.
I think
So.
that'll be fine. We're
And what about
We
you?
only have the 2, so
Yeah, I have a pen of a huge crate.
Okay.
I've got
we're good.
baby. Okay.
We're good.
So-
I've got so many.
They're gonna
cans
pretty
of
much
them.
have their own room, so.
Let me go
I've
ahead
got the
and
ones for the
start
full size Great
washing.
Danes as well.
I feel the nails already.
Yeah.
That's something.
So he's growing.
Are you gonna fall asleep? I don't think there's anything in there.
Yeah, that one's chunky one.
Okay, well, you could just suck on it instead of my finger. Look, you're a bodybuilder.
Cleaning. If there's any doubt, bleach the shit out of it.
Mhm. Not the puppies.
Not the puppies, but any items that there's any concerns with, bleach the ever-loving crap out of it. Because again, certain diseases are only killed by bleach.
What about cleaning the puppies? Let's say they roll in poop, something like that. You
Baby
know, what?
wipes?
Just wipe them down.
Wipe them down. As they get older, you can start putting them in the bath. Make sure the water is pre-warmed. And you want to make sure it doesn't get in their mouth or
But for the
nose.
next 2 weeks. No,
So
just dry wipe 'em.
for the next 2 weeks, dry wipe them. If their tushies are getting too crusty, then you can hold their butt under the faucet,
Just take another one.
or you can make a small
Just take
plastic
2 at a
container of warm water and dip them.
Oh, when you're gone?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
But your key is not to let them aspirate
That's
any
why
water.
we start moving around.
Well,
Yes.
there's two keys. One is don't allow them to
Start
aspirate
moving around
water.
and stuff.
The other is don't cool them.
When is
Don't
that?
don't cool them
Yeah,
down. You need to
it's
dry
body
them off.
their body
You
temperature.
need to drop them
Real
off.
quick, yeah.
15 days.
Yeah, they do not have much ability to self-regulate temperature at this
On
age.
that video, they were talking about gradual changes of body temperature if they did get cold. To do all this, like 1 degree every 30 minutes. I'm like, that's tough to manage. Yeah, I said that was too. I can understand. Don't go from frozen
Go
to
one day at a time.
under a
If
heat
they
lamp,
don't, I
but-
will.
So here, let me show off cleaning the. I'll start with
We're
this.
going.
Oh, the other ones.
Dawn, come watch cleaning the equipment.
Oh, okay. No, this isn't my first rodeo, but okay.
So I mean, these are actually going to be.
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Oh,
my
okay.
race
Never
rodeo.
mind then. Okay.
So I
I'm
mean,
a
I
vet
just
tech by trade, so.
make sure with the syringes.
Yeah,
I
she
just,
used to do emergency
pull it back here,
medicine.
Yeah.
shake it around.
Yeah, and that's
do
another thing.
that 3 or 4
They
times.
were over the top about sterile. They said
Is
put
Yellow a
them in
boy?
boiling water for 10 minutes.
Oh, female. Yellow's a girl.
Seems a bit overkill. I was afraid to put that in boiling water. No.
You're gonna have a quiet
Yeah.
house tonight.
And
Especially
only our
because
dogs,
these
it's the
are
first time we
designed
haven't
to
had
use-
fosters in,
That's right, because your
I
fosters
generally
went
get
to
3 or 4
boarding.
days out of
it's been
them.
years.
How many do you have after them?
Four dogs.
You'll
You're
go
four.
last a little bit longer for you because we were doing initially 8 puppies and then 4
I
puppies
can't believe we-
versus 2 puppies.
Yeah, this
You
never
can
happens.
see actually
And then you come back.
June
how
4th.
it'll it'll
It's
wear off.
hilarious.
And, pull
I
the
used
plunger on
Peppa
this one.
already.
Yeah, I bet that
Peppa and Yzma did amazing this morning. I thought Yzma would be snapping, and I thought Peppa would be fear pooping everywhere.
Pep was okay.
They walked in, tails wagging, checked everything out,
But
took
under
treats
no
from
circumstances
Brianna,
do
who is
you
the owner.
Push the plunger while you're feeding
I
them.
mean, he's
What's
no-
the-
And Peppa is the because I met her.
that
Yeah,
that
It's a super
that falls
scared
under that can be bad to
Right.
she
do.
didn't act super scared today.
That's wonderful.
So let me make a copy of this.
I took a picture of it, so.
Dawn, what was the last ones you did? I didn't know you did it before.
Oh, I've done them on and off over through the years. I've never
Right.
fostered, it just kinda happened. I worked in the
Great Danes?
vet tech,
Or
no, I've not
others?
done Great Danes.
Okay.
I've done Mexican mutts, really.
Uh-huh.
Didn't you did emergency tech work, right? The Mercy Clinic?
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite.
That's why I allow her to stay at my house the
Mhm.
twice I've gone out of town.
The big.
And I saw her with the horses, and I'm like, she can handle them.
Where's the horses?
So she's the mounted patrol unit.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the.
But not you had mentioned a horse, and I wasn't sure if you had a
She's a
horse.
Playing with the
volunteer,
mountain
yeah, she comes
patrol.
out volunteers at the barn.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're just
Police
cute.
horses.
They're Great Danes.
So
And
Ours
they're
are
well
mostly,
behaved.
yes, because
we
of-
have
we want
2
the big
kits,
goofy
one for
ones.
each of you. Again, we have, and Amy, why don't you take the formula and go divvy it up to the containers, please?
I can't
Well, they're taking mine right now
Okay.
till Monday.
Yeah, no need to divide
So
it
yeah,
up.
you
Just
just
put
put
it
it all
on one.
together and.
Okay. Also, thanks to our generous benefactors that are still watching, I'm including a rope toy for each of you. And again, this is the sort of carabiner that I was talking about.
Sweet.
We'll hang them. I'll put plastic chains across.
Alright, maybe do that for them.
Horses sometimes when they need a toy. Extra
Hang it from the side of it.
Does everyone have scales?
I do.
Okay.
Kitchen scale, I put plate across them.
Yep.
For about a week.
It goes up to a few pounds.
So these are your first
Does
monster.
anyone need puppy pads?
Yeah,
I could use a couple.
I have tons.
Just to get
So you're
started.
okay? Yeah, I'm good. I've got tons from Eli.
Because mostly I would use just a blanket. Is any concerns about? And I mean, I don't want to get suffocated and all that stuff, or wrapped up in blankets and all that. But just a single, like a towel, would be okay.
Yeah, towels are fine.
Yep.
Be careful if they're ripped,
Right.
because especially if there's any holes, they can get their head stuck or what have you.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Um,
And we just have so many. We collected a bunch because we with Bo was
Yeah.
incontinent for a year.
but,
We were doing 3 loads of laundry
Yeah.
a day.
but before we started using these easy welt washable pads, we would also go to Goodwill and just buy a bunch of
Yellow.
sheets.
yeah.
Yellow is a
That's what we
girl.
have. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's
Was he bowel incontinent
I thought it
also?
was two girls.
He
two
was
boys,
bowel
and then-
incontinent and for like 18 months, and then in the last 2 or 3 months he started having urine incontinence too.
Augie started, and we started him on Proen, and it helped both.
Oh really? Wow.
Yes.
Well, I think the
we just
Q-tips
cleaned it up.
help it too. Once you get on the set, once they're in a set, because that's what I do with my guy. I use Q-tips 3 times a day for his poop.
I do
He's-
too.
Yeah, I
have
just
it
lost my
anymore.
sense of smell with COVID early on, and so I couldn't smell any. Cat would walk in the room and go, "Oh, what the hell?" I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Look at check Mo." I'm like, "Oh yeah, he pooped, didn't he?"
I know. I can smell it if it's downstairs or in the middle of the night. If he gets up,
Yep, no.
Y'all are the
I
ones
have
that
the
got me
blessing
into-
of no.
I know. But the
Not enough.
twin mattress, and you were
Yeah.
like, they had a twin mattress in their living room. I was like, where'd you find a bed this big? It's just a-
Yep. Now it's in the bedroom next to the
I have
master
2.
bed.
Yeah, and I got
Yep.
the fitted sheet at
Yeah,
Target,
it
just
works
like y'all.
wonderful. It works wonderful.
But I do have waterproof mattress.
That's what I have for Eli. It's the topper, the little 2-inch, 3-inch topper.
Mhm.
Just fold it in half, and there's actually a dog
Yes.
cover you can
I'm
buy
gonna
for it.
go
Okay.
terminate
So
the
that's his
video
bed, so
stream. I'll be right back.
I'm getting a new waterproof cover for it because he's had licking accidents. So.
I highly recommend dog bed number 4 less. So dogbed4less.com.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful